The legendary Titans of Pokémon are the biggest set of legendary Pokémon in the series, with 5 members in total. With them being so similar, it's only natural for fans to compare them to each other to try to figure out which one is best. However, despite their similarities, they are distinct enough to be judged on their own merits, for better and worse. Originally, in Ruby and Sapphire, there were only 3 members of the legendary Titans: Regirock, Regis, and Registeel. However, in Sword and Shield, 2 new Titans were introduced, Regieleki and Regidrago. In addition, apart from the stats that the individual Titans specialize in, their stat lines are quite similar, although still distinctive enough to make their own strengths and weaknesses clear. The Titans' return in Sword and Shield's Crown Tundra gave them their first spotlight in years, bringing attention back to the underrated group. Despite how similar the Titans look, as well as the fact that they share many moves, there is a clear hierarchy among them. Although none of them are as powerful as a Pokémon like Mewtwo or Arceus, the Titans are still quite respectable, although some more so than others. However, when it comes to strength, design, and general coolness, the quality of the various Titans becomes more obvious. 5. Regidrago is the least impressive of Pokémon's legendary Titans, the other Titan to debut in Generation 8. Regidrago is the latest Dragon-type legendary in the series. Its massive base HP total is more reminiscent of Blissey than any of the other Titans, or even other Dragon types for that matter. Regidrago has a respectable variety of moves, and both its attack and special attack are high enough to let it deal decent damage in a fight. Unfortunately, despite Regidrago having some interesting Pokémon design choices, it also has plenty of flaws. While its HP is high, its defense and special defense are an embarrassing base 50 apiece, which is awful for a legendary Pokémon. In addition, it also has the weakest design of any of the legendary Titans. The Dragon Jaw-esque look is one that was probably better in theory than in practice. Regidrago sticks out as the least impressive looking of the Titans. However, it can at least use its Dragon's Maw ability to power up its Dragon-type moves, and its signature Dragon Energy move synchronizes well with its ability and high natural HP. 4. Regieleki is Pokémon's most fragile Titan. Regieleki is the odd one out of the Titans. Rather than being a hulking golem like the rest, most of its body is crackling electricity rather than anything solid. This feature of Regieleki comes through in 2 ways, making it quite a useful electric type despite not being as famous as Pokémon's many Pikachu clones. First, its signature ability of Transistor strengthens its electric type moves, since it is mostly living electricity. Second, it is not only by far the fastest of the Titans, but it is the fastest Pokémon in existence, even surpassing Speed Form Deoxys. Unfortunately, Regieleki has 2 major flaws that can't be overlooked. First, it is by far the most fragile of the legendary Titans, sharing the low defensive stats of Regidrago without the high HP to make up for it. Second, its Moveset is very limited. With the exception of Ancient Power, it only learns normal and electric type moves via leveling up, and TMs barely expand that. Even though it has decent power and will almost always hit first, Regieleki is painfully predictable and can't take much of a hit in return. It does earn some points for its unique look, although Scarlet and Violet's writable legendaries outdo it in that department. 3. Regirock is a powerful Pokémon, but somewhat generic. Regirock is a perfect example of a Pokémon that is exactly what it looks like. It's a big living statue of solid stone that can pack a decent punch and take a lot of punishment. Regirock's physical defenses are some of the best that one can find on any Pokémon, and it's perfectly suited for its Moveset. Regirock also has a cool factor similar to that of Golurk, being an ancient golem that's exactly as tough as it looks. Unfortunately, for as cool and impressive looking as Regirock is, it is hurt by being somewhat generic in design. While its look is memorable, there are a lot of big, chunky-looking rock-type Pokémon in the games, and that makes it a bit harder for Regirock to stand out. Its weakness to the common water type combined with Sword and Shield's impressive water Pokémon is another strike against it. However, Regirock still has plenty of dignity, playing its archetype perfectly. 2. Regis is one of Pokemon's coolest looking ice types. Ice types have historically been underappreciated in Pokemon, but Regis still manages to be one of the best legendary titans. Unlike its more brutish brethren, Regis is focused on special attacks and can absorb special hits from opponents easily. In addition, Regis's design may be the best out of the legendary titans. With its geometric body and glowing eyes, the designers couldn't have made a better-looking legendary ice golem. The only real downside to Regis is the same difficulties that almost every pure ice type faces. Pokemon's ice type is notoriously weak on defense, and most of the types that ice is weak to tend to use physical moves rather than the special ones Regis specializes in defending against. However, even though it may not be the best battler among the group, Regis still ironically has the coolest look of the legendary titans. 1. Registeel is Pokemon's best legendary titan. Registeel was made to occupy a sort of middle ground between Regis and Registeel, its stats being right in the middle of its fellow titans. Those good defenses combined with the highly defensive steel type made Registeel an absolute wall against anything that it isn't weak to. The original Titan's vitally important shared Pokémon ability, Clear Body, makes sure those strong defenses don't get taken down mid-battle. Of course, Registeel has plenty of aesthetic points in its favor too. For one, its almost alien robotic form is a great and unique look. Second, its appearance in the anime had its cries sound like a DJ laying down dubstep tracks, which is fun in its own right. Registeel has the least weaknesses of any of the legendary titans as well, only falling short with its below-average attacking stats. However, it is helped by a selection of powerful moves at its disposal. Much like Regis, Registeel's biggest perk doesn't lie in its place in the competitive battling scene. While it is decent, Registeel is just plain cool as a Pokémon, and it has the best mix of usefulness and aesthetics among all the legendary titans. The legendary titans of Pokémon may not be as famous as Pokémon's inaccurately described legendary dogs, but they have a charm all their own. Their theme of being golems with an otherworldly air to them is one of the best shticks of any set of legendaries in the franchise. Among the legendary titans in Pokémon, it is Registeel that ultimately stands out as